G'day, guys. Welcome back to the Supercoach Swordplay podcast. It is season 5, episode 17. There's only 2 of us here at the moment, but very, very shortly. And talk about shortly. Look at that for timing. Here is a great man now, Spillsy. We were about 5 seconds.
Bloody hell, boys.
Hey, welcome.
I knew you were recording. I was like, geez, I've actually got to go. Oh, my God.
He's come in. He's made it.
Yeah,
Welcome,
sorry,
Spillsy.
boys.
Welcome. We were right on the intro there. The intro music had just started to play, and then up you pop.
Yep.
We'll start with you. How are you been, brother? What has been cracking, mate?
Oh, where do I start? So my brother's just moved in, hence why I was sort of like so busy. So I've just been like helping him out, and he just got here. It took him long enough, but he's moved in, so that's all good. As far as I stuff around a little bit, and he's got my message as well in the chat. But we had a bit of an incident on Saturday night. It was a pretty bad one, boys, if I'm honest. I don't know if you want me to get into it or not, but literally basically stabbed my finger with a sword, like a little sword thing, went straight through one side and out the other, like what you see in the movies, mate, just pissing out blood. Yeah, it was a genuine horror show. So
proper swordplay, mate.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Literally, really wearing the brand, aren't I?
Yeah. Talk about literal swordplay, Spillsy. I'll be very interested to hear more about this very, very soon, mate. Janath, you're the medical expert here, mate. Are you too concerned about this finger, or do you think that Spillsy maybe needs to have a bit of cement and harden up here about the whole situation?
Oh, this will be
mate, as a medical student, I think that it is well within Spillsy's right to seek any medical attention that he needs. Because the last thing
I was freaking out, man. I was like so rattled.
You don't want him to go into shock right now. So I reckon, Spillsy, get all the attention you need, mate. No need to be a macho man.
A couple like cheeky comments at work today. Like, I couldn't work yesterday because they genuinely gave me like stuff that I had to take that like wouldn't allow me to operate and whatnot. So like tablets and stuff that had codeine in it. So like real strong stuff so it must have been pretty bad if they were to give me that. But I know, may as well quickly tell you how it happened. I'm assuming that there's not going to be too much on the agenda tonight, boys. We're sort of finishing our sides almost. There's a few things going on, but and I'll try and be quick with it. But yeah, I had a bit of a footy function on Saturday night. Got home at a pretty reasonable time. It was only like 10 or 11 or whatever. They had finger food there. Didn't really eat anything. Didn't have dinner, so I was just doing a bit of cooking in the kitchen. Like, felt pretty fine. I was just like ready for bed, if anything. And it'd be good right now if I find me AirPods. This will be music to sort of not calm down, but like wind down a bit. When you're just brushing your hand around, like when you try and look for stuff. It had this like little cupboard thing on top of the stove, like overhead, where mostly you keep like your stubby coolers and your bills and other paperwork and bits and pieces.
Swords.
And there's this little oven ornament thing that was in there, the stainless steel like oven. And I've brushed my hand and it's just gone psst, and it's gone literally straight through. And I kid you not, it probably went through like this side here and it stuck out, I don't know, 30 or 40 mil out the other side, like genuinely like straight through. So I called my partner in just sheer panic, like, what do I do? And she took me to hospital. We sat in ED for about 5 hours. They told me I had to get a tetanus shot and they couldn't do it. So we waited there for like essentially no reason at all. So I probably had about 2 or 3 hours sleep on Saturday night. And then, the next morning we went into a intensive care. And then, the doctors and nurses, they put anesthesia all through my finger. I couldn't feel anything. But the pain was still, like, really, like, unbearable because it was just such a bad cut. Like, it was just completely deep. But they flushed me out. They killed out all the bacteria. Like, Janath would know all about this. And the pain was excruciating. Even when I was numb, it was just, stinging like you wouldn't believe. And they bandaged me up, gave me some really good drugs, boys. So we're good to go. We're feeling all right. The pain's gone. I'm not having to take codeine anymore, but I got antibiotics that they've given me to allow me to sort of work and get by. So Boys, it's just been a really hectic
Good
like
to have you on,
couple of days, and oh my goodness, yeah, just sort of got to the potty on the nick of time. So that's my weekend, boys. How are you two traveling?
Well,
Far
geez,
out.
a little bit better than you. Spillsy,
Yeah, obviously.
Rossco's better than all of us at the moment up in Thailand. Spent a little bit of time with the elephants today. Don't know if he's
Yeah.
been playing any table tennis,
No, I
but has
I
been
didn't
enjoying
think you were
himself.
going to go there, but you did.
Well,
And it took you
table
no
tennis
time at all.
has been enjoying many recreational activities, says Roscoe, and enjoying himself with some nice hot weather over there at the moment.
Oh,
Very,
so
very jealous,
jealous,
lads,
man.
because it has been terrible down here. But I'm not too bad on holidays at the moment, so a couple of weeks off work, which is always nice, but just stuck inside with this cold weather. Want a bit of sunshine, lads. But let's get to the agenda. We'll give you a GDS update, and we'll be recording a separate video. We'll talk a little bit about that very, very soon. Our round reviews, I'll have a rant. Spillsy's got his tweet of the week, even if he doesn't know about it yet. Injuries, hot topics,
It's
some
a bit like that,
replacements.
isn't it? I've been completely out of the loop. I've watched no footy over the weekend because I've just been like sleeping or in pain. Like I feel like you got to give me a mulligan for this weekend, boys. I'll tell you.
No, we
Nah,
have.
you're all right.
There's a nice tweet of the week here, Spillsy. I can even take over your tweet of the week, mate. How's that
Okay.
for you? I'll do that for you
I'll
this
actually,
week, mate.
I can allow that.
All good, mate.
I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
We've then got a bit of a quiz. Janet's going to put us to work, Spillsy. Some strategy talk, trades,
Yes.
captains, and that will be it for the week. So let's get right into this, lads. As always, thank you to anyone that has bought some merch. Good Friday appeal up to $310. Taylor and the ladies at Speedy Tees are a fantastic partner of ours, as are all the lads at the Supercoach Hub. Cash Cow may or may not have gone off last week. If it has, we will be notifying this lucky person very, very soon. But thank you to everyone that has put a guess forward, getting closer and closer to that, lads. Now, this is very, very exciting. Game day squad. Now, I did put out a video that actually went public today that was scheduled. Well, I thought it was scheduled for last week. So it's a week late. So feel free to check it out if you want. There was a bit of a pack opening there because, as you would have heard from last week, did have a top 10 finish with my brother Janath in the contender competition. Not as good for me this week, but we can see the overall leaderboard there in the top 10, brother. Currently 6th. Tell us all about your experience so far, mate. Do you think you can manage to give the number 1 spot a red hot crack? Well, we've got 6 weeks left.
Mate, look, I'm going to give it my all. What is that, 121 points off the leader? Look, it's finished 20th for the week in contender. Like, it's so close, but yet you feel so far given the salary cap, in a way. I'm not sure if you feel the same there.
Yes, I do, mate. I do. It's having those golds. So, you can only play a certain amount of golds. It's like, who do I actually bring out? Do I go with a forward in like your Cozzy, your Horn Francis? Do I stick to the backs with your Maxi Holmes? Do I load up with a Nick Dacos or another uber elite like that? Silver, Brody, Grundy, Anderson versus Caldwell. Well, that's an easy decision now, my brother, given the fact that we've had some terrible injury news for Essendon yet again. But it's tricky, isn't it? Having so many great cards at your disposal, you can't use them all. So that's where the strategy comes into place, mate. And the matchups each week, super important with this competition.
And like in starter, finish 14th, that's a tough comp as well because every card is a base card. So really was really happy with that one. But unfortunately got kicked out of the Classic Cup. So shout out to whoever knocked me out. Just a tough week with some poor choices. Jordan Clark got tagged, didn't see it coming. Andrew Brayshaw, all-star card, just didn't deliver the goods there. Errol Goulden is a one that if you got him in, lock him in. We're going to talk more game day squad in another video coming out as well. But yeah, I love that you're on board, DR. I know Rossco's on board. There's one other that we need to get over to the dark side, I reckon, in Spillsy down there.
I'll be honest, though, it's been one of those seasons where, like, I probably could have doubled in a bit earlier because Classics just hasn't been treating me well at all, boys. I've fronting up every week. Like, as much as I love the banter and jumping on with you boys, that's about all we sort of look forward to because, yeah, you'll see in a moment the rank, but Yeah, it's not good, boys. It's bloody hard. It's really hard to find any sort of motivation, enjoyment to watch footy at the moment. You look at the Dons as well, like they're nowhere. They're in no man's land as well. So yeah, I wish I was like you, DR, going for a good side in Brisbane, at least having something to sort of look forward to. But yeah, it's been tough, boys. I think I speak for many.
You speak for me as well, Spillsy.
Yeah.
Yes,
watching Carlton play every week, bloody hell.
Yeah, but you're having a like DR been really solid this year. You're having a really good season too. So like be very bit different for you two boys. Got something to sort of look forward to. Where I'm like, I don't know, like my Supercoach is not good. My team's not good. Where at least DR side's going well, and then like Janath, you got 3-digit rank, bro. Like yeah, so it's like I feel like you'd enjoy it a little bit more when one or the other's going well, but when they're both going bad, I don't know. And you play footy as well, so you miss. Like I feel like you miss out on it like a little bit more. So I'm doing my best, watching as much as I can, but at the same time, it's like I don't know what I'm watching because I know what I'm watching for. But I think I reckon I'd probably speak for a few there, but I will definitely get the game day squad happening because it does look like a lot of fun.
What I will say about the footy very quickly is obviously starting medicine. There's a lot of international students from sort of interstate that don't have teams. They're free agents.
Free agent.
Season, I was at Med camp and
you didn't.
bloody half
you
of them.
didn't, mate.
I bloody got half of them on Carlton, and now I'm.
Why would you do that? That's such a horrible, toxic thing to do to someone.
Mate, I was like, this is our season. Like they're going to games and stuff, and they come up to me. It's like, mate, what is this? Like, how do we lose? How do we lose this? Or like after the Richmond game, it's like, what did you sign me up for? And I'm like, well, look, we have been delivering this for about 30 years now, so this is nothing new. But so sorry to anyone if you're watching this video if I've somehow made you a Blues fan and you're not enjoying it, because I certainly am not enjoying it at this point in time either.
Boys, if obviously when I have kids, I'm not gonna force them. I'm not gonna force them to go for the Bombers because I want them to have success and have a nice childhood. Because I'm like Richmond does footy. He's like, I'm not allowing my daughter to go for Carlton. She's not allowed to go for Carlton. It's forbidden. So I'm like thinking like that. I mean, imagine not seeing a final for like 20 years, your whole life. Embarrassing. So, yeah, I don't know.
I reckon the quicker we move on, DR, the quicker it doesn't become Carlton and Essendon fans joining together to ramble about their club.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about Carlton or Essendon, but I do want to hear about anyone that is enjoying Game Day Squad at the moment, because if your Supercoach isn't going too well, never too late to join up. And remember, referral code word PEANUT. You'll get yourself some extra freebies when you sign up and verify. On to the round reviews now. I'm going to keep my one pretty short and sharp, boys. I've got just a couple of notes here. Primo's down, Whitfield and Baz. So 2 Primos down this week. McCarthy was a Whitfield cover, no Baz cover. So that's where the flex comes in, which is a nice addition, I think, to Supercoach this year, and certainly helped me this week. But 900 plus scores. Naz shared out with a 150 plus. Bont was the second highest scorer, who was my VC. Unfortunately, boys, 6 sub-80s. You just don't want that with a full Primo side, or Primo in inverted commas, do you? But Sinclair, Dale, Gawn, Darcy, Daniel, and Bolton couldn't even deliver a ton for me this week. So when I get to my rant, boys, I'll talk about some of these so-called Uber advantages that I thought I'd be taking advantage of this year in my side, doing the complete opposite for me at the moment. So the ranking's down at the moment, but it's a funny sort of a feeling, because for the first time in ages, for as long as I can remember, the pressure's now off because the side's going so poorly. I feel like there's simply not much more that I can do. The pressure's off. I've said to myself, I'm going to be kind, give myself a bit of a mulligan for this year, and just really hone in on getting a good starting team for 2026. So in a way, it's a pretty nice feeling, because the care factor just isn't there like it has been, and the pressure isn't there like it has been in recent years. But going to see if I can stay within the top 5K, lads. That'll be a win in my book, I think.
Mate, I don't want to go at all. I've been putting this off all week. This has been the hardest thing to front up for all week, and I've had to walk into work with effectively a cut finger. Geez, I did the opposite of downplaying that, but I think I've topped you there, D. I've had 7 scores under 80, and including the 2 primos out in Whitfield and Baz. That really hurts you, but yeah, it gets worse. So yeah, obviously, like Clark was tagged. Sinclair's just struggling with Nass, who's been just a revelation defense, but I feel like he's been pretty negatively impacted by that. Like Johnson McCarthy were good rookies to cover for the 2 premiums that missed out, but all in all, you're still getting rookie scores, like good rookie scores, but far from primo. Baz out really hurt me because I've got no cover, so I wasn't allowed a flex score. Like Johnson come on for Whitfield with a bit of DPP, which is handy, but still a rookie. I guess the main killer was Horn Francis has been so frustrating. I'd love to calculate the average of what he did in my team versus out of my team. So when I trade him in a couple of weeks ago at a really cheap price, and then trade him out after he played Essendon, and then had the game of his career basically against, it would have been St Kilda the following week. So yeah, he's been disappointing. Bolton's been the most frustrating of picks. I'd love to count how many players in my side are in the 400k mark. Like just absolutely embarrassing. And I think what took the cake this week is, well, you guys wouldn't know what I did, but laid out with Baz, no Max Holmes. Gee, who do I captain? I'm really not sure. So I just captained Max Gawn. I thought, you know what, got pretty good history against Rowe, like real mediocre 120s. I think it was 3 120s in a row. Not a high ceiling, but yeah, just mid 120 scores all in all. So I'm like, look, pretty safe. And he pops a 79. So that was my C over the weekend. So just a disaster, boys. 2,213. No good. We dropped 2,000 spots in the ranks. Madden dropped my only real source of cash gen. So Briggs come back into the side. Absolutely costed me. I needed him. I needed him to make me money. Him and Johnson were the only 2 avenues that I could get a proper primo. So yeah, now it's all on Zach Johnson. Who would have thought the rookie carnage would just continue to this point? So I'm just stuck. My hands are tied. There's literally nothing I can do. I just got to sit there with 2 trades and hope that like Johnson can pull his finger out and make a bit of coin. I think he will, but it's pretty hard to make money off your rookies, boys, when they're not playing. So Madden, a negative 60 break even? He ain't even playing. So like, what do you do, boys? You just can't win. Sometimes it's one of the seasons that I just cannot wait to forget. I'm sorry, but I kind of just want it over and done with. I don't want to have to worry about Supercoach anymore. I hate my team. Absolutely hate it. So that's me. That's me, boys. Rant over. Spillsy's rant, but it's my own team. It is what it is.
Janath, give us some good news, mate. Tell us what it's like to own a top 1,000 side.
Mate, it doesn't feel like a top 1,000 side at the moment. There's so many fake primos in this team. It's not funny.
Cry me a river. Come on, look at. If you saw my side, you'd be like, "Why have you got him? What are you doing that for?
Look,
why did you trade him? Why did you trade out Zach Merritt? Why did you trade out Lockie Neal? Like, what are you doing, mate?
Mate.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Sorry, mate.
You're right. I had 5 scores above 113, which isn't great, but is not the worst thing in the world either. The forward line is an issue. There's no tons in there across the entire forward line. I think that if I was to look at the forward line, and I think this is where we're at. I traded out Rankin for Sam Darcy, and he had to kick 5 goals to get this. I'm not too concerned, but look, it's just one of those things where it just came from nowhere. The role, in terms of the move, I made one late decision. I saw that TDK was named alongside Pitternet on the Friday. TDK starting at centre half forward. Absolute no. I was like, there's no way. And scored 66. I traded him to Rowan Marshall. He got the big 135 against Lloyd Meek. May come crashing back down to it this week against Brodie Grundy, who's a tough matchup. But then there's a couple of easier matchups to end the season there as well. So fingers crossed that Roma can catapult us up the ranks. And in terms of the VC, Bont 133, take that every day of the week. In terms of Rossco's round review, So he had a score of 2,121. It was just something that Rossco he was saying he's a little bit disappointed with it, given how much growth he made over the buys in terms of the rank back down to 32k. Still got 3 trades left and a healthy team value, so hopefully we'll make a late season charge. I think he also not VC. He wanted to go into Max Holmes, but I think he ended up taking the VC on Bontempelli. So look, I think across all 4 of us, the rank drops. Hopefully next week, boys, green arrows across the board.
That would be very, very nice, mate. It feels like I have not seen one in a very, very long time. So,
a fully fit premium side, you know. You need these guys. You need Whitfield back.
Yes.
Who else missed? Can't remember off the top of my head.
Baz.
You need Baz back, and like that's great coaching too, Janath. Like such good awareness, seeing like a ruckman playing centre half, split rucking, high break even, and then you're trading Rowan. I mean, you've just gained like 70 points or something.
Yeah.
60, 70 points. Good move. So that's the difference between a lot of it's luck, but a lot of it's not. So, yeah.
Oh, I think the issue was Janath didn't have room for 2 generational players in the side once Sam Darcy came in. So there you go, TDK. Only room for 1. And it's
TDK is like the Toy Story man. It's like, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Off to St Kilda, off to Rossco. Maybe Rossco should go pick him up, maybe, mate. All right, boys. Spillsy, you just touched on it with these premiums missing, but even with some of the premiums that I've got here, mate, this is so frustrating because the teams that don't have your Whitfields, that don't have your Sinclairs, are getting a leg up at the moment somehow, and I don't know how this is. This was not how the script was meant to play out. Sinclair, Gawn, Lockie Whitfield, these guys were meant to give me an advantage on the coaches that didn't spend up and get the big dogs. These are my big dogs that are meant to be hitting the ceiling for me and giving me those extra points on other teams each week. But unfortunately, boys, you can see there, between the 3 of these 3 you see on screen, Jack Sinclair, Max Gawn, the old 3 scooper, the triple scooper, and Lockie Whitfield, albeit wasn't playing this week, 151 points in total. Now, you know that any one of these players on their good day can hit 151 individually. It's just not enough, fellas. It's just not enough. And seeing that score of 2,300 and then seeing that these 3 combined for a 151, you just think what should have been, what could have been. And look, nothing fantastic. Let's just call it a 2,450 even. It's so much better than this. So that's my rant, boys. These Uber premiums that I paid up for are under-delivering, and people that went bargain hunting are slowly but surely coming out on top now. So that's my rant. Hopefully they come good.
I've got a quick stat for you, boys. So the top 6 average in defenders this year: Naz at 112.9, Ash 110.8, Himes 110.5, Rosie 109.3, Sinclair 107.9, Zorko 107. So if you look at the 3-round averages, Naz is a 138, Ash is 107, Holmes 122, Rosie 120, Zorko 109. Do you want to have a guess what Jack Sinclair's 3-round average is? And he's still a top 6 defender.
It's got to be in the 80s, surely.
Say 82.
75.3.
Far out.
Wow.
How the
Janath has killed that. He has killed him.
He was a must-have in our tier list when the Saints buy came around. That's how bad it's gone the last.
Luckily,
I will cut him some slack though. He was, I think, I remember trading him in for like 520k, right? Yeah. Which is really cheap. And then when we bought him in, like he went on a tear. Like he exceeded. He made 100k. But now he's back down. Now he's in the 400k mark. I cannot believe that. And gone unacceptable. I paid 720 for him. Like, and I'm not phased about that because his 6-round average when I had him was incredible. But now he's falling off the perch. We feel a bit stiff. Like you can't really predict that. But those 2 in particular, like where's the form slump come from? Like how you never would have seen it coming from like the first half of the year to now. It's just, unreal. Super weird. Yeah. Sums up the year.
Yeah. And what a move it was, doing the old switcheroo boys on the tier rank have. Yeah. Putting Naz up to the must-have and Sinclair down. We had a feeling, didn't we? We had a feeling. and
And
he
DR,
just continues to deliver.
we weren't wrong 2 years ago. We were just early. Like Naz, when we both went Naz 2 years ago, and we looked like Goose sort of thing, we were just early.
Mate, we were too good, Janath. We spotted the talent too early, mate. We just got a little bit keen there. But yeah, what a pick he
What a
continues to
pick.
be.
He's
Been
so
phenomenal. Now, Spillsy, I'm going to take over this,
I
mate.
got no
Now,
idea.
you've been a busy man, so we have decided to handpick a tweet of the week for you, and it's from our man Jaden, who was a big contributor as well in our Supercoach Swordplay season guide. And this man, I'll tell you what, Janath, I think, and this is no offense to you, Spills, but Janath, I think that you would be the only one out of the three of us that deep diving into this article would actually be able to fully understand it, because Spills, there's those funny math signs and symbols that don't mean much to people like us, mate. But believe me, the content in here
gibberish.
is absolutely fantastic. What this great man has done, well, in his words, is solve the secret formula that scales match-winning goals and junk time stats and highlight the massive effects on scoring. With this revelation, we can now decipher Supercoach scores with over 99% accuracy, if you don't mind. So you can see the link there. Head to statsbyjaden.com.au, head to his website, get onto this article because it is absolutely elite. He goes through everything that you could want to know about Supercoach scaling, ranking points, and you will not go wrong. So make sure that you check this great man's work out. What do you reckon, Spillsy? Was that good enough for a tweet of the week, mate, from Jaden?
Sorry, I was a bit distracted. Are you going to answer that, Janath?
It's our home phone, mate. So I'll leave it to the higher ups.
I thought it was me. I was like, where's that coming from? There's no phone in here, man. But nah, DR, mate, that's great insight. It's not surprising. I mean, it's amazing how much the sides that are crushing it benefit. Like, you wouldn't pick a Supercoach side, right, and build a list of premiums around like bottom four sides, unless it is like, I think Sherry's a real exception of that, because it's like, obviously he's the one, his stats speak for himself, but even Sheasel, like, you can see that he's pretty negatively impacted by like scaling, because North, like, they don't win that much, and there's sides that just come on top a little bit, particularly like you feel like he's underscored a bit, but that's probably why. So yeah, no, it's really it's really good analysis. Yeah, Jaden just always has the goods. Yeah, really knows what he's on about. So yeah, it clarifies it, because we have had a problem with scaling. Was it? I can't remember what rant it was. DR, might have been a couple of weeks ago now, but who was the player that should have scored a lot higher than he did, that you had in your rant?
Jordan Dawson.
That was last week, wasn't it?
The old contested mark.
Yeah, the old contested mark. So that's a really good example.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the scaling or anything like that, but I don't know. Does it have anything to do with that? Like, do they? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how it works, boys. It's
that's
super
the problem.
confusing.
Is that when people go out and they complain about the stats, it's like the scaling part. It's all got to do with the basis of Supercoach, which isn't anything like AFL fans, which isn't anything like Game Day Squad. The premise of the game is when you score points, it's all about effective points and when you score your points and where you score your points. That's what Jaden does, and that's what I really appreciate looking from the outside in, because you can easily ruin your weekend by looking at, well, this player had this stat line, this player that stat line, but their scores are 50 points difference. You've got contested ground balls. Contested ground balls is even more better. Effective contested ground ball gets that end up as a handball or kick are more effective than a contested mark. But outside looking in, you see that act and you're like, no, the reason why Bond scores so well is half of his acts in terms of possessions, they're not possessions, they're contested knock-ons that go to a teammate. That's a +6, +8, depending on the time of the game it is. So if we sort of wrap our head around that there is a formula behind it, and that scaling, yes, whilst it may not be perfect, especially for ruckman. Like, you see ruckman and they have 80 hitouts and they score nothing. But it's because they're hitting the ball either to the other team or not to their team. So they're either getting 1 for the hitout or -3 for the shaft hitout instead of the +4 you would get for an effective hitout. And that's where the big swings come with these ruckmen that are a good ruckman And that's why the base of ruckman is actually so high if they're actually a decent ruckman not tapping the ball to the other team. So all of these intricacies and nuances is what makes Supercoach the game it is, because it's not simply about the stats. It's about having good players that can capitalize on the most important stats that are present in the game.
Yeah,
absolutely, mate. Very, very well said. And this man here, Jaden.
Now when you put it like that too.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's such a grey area with like scaling and how the points work, especially in Supercoach. It's such a unique way. It's a lot different to fantasy. Like it's just a little bit more unforgiving, I think, and it's hard to wrap your head around it. So yeah, this tweet makes me understand a little bit more. So yeah, try not to get too frustrated next time I see a player that should have scored a bit more than he did.
Yeah.
So,
that's it, mate. Jaden will give you the secret herbs and spices. He's got the recipe there. Now, on to the injuries. Now, we're not going to go through and share the screen here. I literally have a little pad note here. And, boys, you can add anyone that you think is relevant here. But we're going to go alphabetically through the teams. Now, we've obviously got the news of Josh Rossco that's come through. He'll be missing a little bit of football. Not necessarily Supercoach relevant, but we always talk about players that may come back into the side. Pedlar with a quad. I know I'm a Pedlar owner. Is a test for this week. So fingers crossed that he can come back just in case we have another laid out like we did with Baz last week. Your man, Sammy Walsh, Janath, 3 weeks with a foot. Jai Caldwell, we're going to talk about some replacement options in a little bit. You can see this man on the screen. Spillsy, 6 to 8 weeks with an ankle. So that's
I gotta say, I could have called
really
this one, boys. I think I said last week, like, yeah, you can trade him in, but just be prepared. Like, make sure you got trades in the bank because it's not if, it's when. And
jeez.
you just like, there's just certain players that have that history, and they like for us, it's Jai Caldwell. For Carlton, it's Sam Welsh. So there's always players that just can't get right. For Brisbane, it's probably Kitty Coleman. I know he's been pretty stiff, but like there's just a handful of players. Like Ridley for us is really bad too. My boy, and I think there's another one, Parrish, obviously. So you just can't get these players right. I mean, it's just...
Can I add one to the list, Bills, in Zach Reed, who's also out for the season? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't want to do that. Maybe he was next on the list. I just wanted to
he's
with it now.
One. I'll admit, Bombers and Richmond, like, you can't get any worse. They're front runners by far. The injuries, it's just unbelievable.
All right, we'll get away. We'll get away from Essendon, mate, but we will talk about some Caldwell replacements in a little bit. We'll get to Freo with some potentially positive news. Cooper Simpson with his AC joint is only 2 weeks away, so could he come back for a late charge into the season? Possibly. We've also got Hayden Young, who's out for 1 week with a hamstring. We know Fife is out for 2 to 3 at this stage. Whitfield should be right for this week, so he's listed as likely to come back, but fingers crossed that is actually the case. Sam Butler, who some people brought in a couple of weeks ago, is out for 1 more week with his leg issue. Some will be looking for him as cover. And isn't that unlucky? You get someone like a Butler who you're expecting to play. Baz is out. Of course, Butler injures himself. Nothing you can do about that. LDU concussion for 1 to 2 weeks, a pod pick that some people may have. My man, Campbell Gray, is a test for his knee. Now, we assume he probably comes back through the VFL, but if Bolter is out, and I know there is a couple of games I think he's out due to the legal aspects of things, he may potentially come back in if he's fit and available. We've got Mateus Philippou out for 3 weeks as well. Tommy Papley, bad luck to him. He's one of those blokes who, for the last little while, hasn't been able to get things right either. But anything else that you want to add to the injury list there, boys? We won't talk about Essendon anymore, Spills. We know you guys are just full of carnage at the moment, but nothing else you want to add to that, Legends? Or
Nah, looks about it, mate. But I think it's really important that we pay close attention to the concussion issue, or not concussion, but in terms of symptoms regarding Lockie Whitfield, who's on track to pass the AFL protocols, Tristan Cherry, who looked a bit dodgy on Thursday night. He wasn't looking too good, but Drew Jones had him running laps today and hopefully integrating into Thursday's main session. So they've got the Sunday game there, so hopefully the Big X is right to go against Maxi Gorn.
So if only Madden was in my side, boys, perfect cover and almost a bit of an advantage if Cherry's not playing. But it's just a cruel game, all in all. Like, I'd love that cover.
A very cruel game.
I just love that cover, but you know,
frustrating. All right, well, for those unlucky people. Now, I think that Caldwell, at his price, when many people bought him in, was an inspired trade-in. He really hasn't let you down too much. I was going to go there, but then I looked at that buy fixture, the schedule, and I thought I just can't. So disappointing there. But looking back now, you're sort of glad because I'm down to 3 trades. And unfortunately, if you own Jai Caldwell, he's a must trade out. 6 to 8 weeks, he is gone for the Supercoach season. So, boys, the big question is, who do coaches look to replace Jai Caldwell with? Now, there'll be some coaches that have $0 in the bank. You need to look at someone at his price point. There'll be coaches that are a little bit luckier. You could have 25, 50, 100K in the bank. So there'll be people in different situations, but let's go through some potential options that you boys like to replace Jai Caldwell with. Now, Janath, might start with you, mate. If there was one bloke and you had unlimited money here,
This is easy.
who would you go with? One midfielder.
Unlimited money.
You just need to have unlimited
Errol
money.
Goulden.
Yeah.
Errol Goulden.
That was my answer too. Yeah, that was my answer.
Both of you.
Yep.
Well, explain yourselves, please. I did not see that coming.
Look at the form.
He's in brilliant form. He's looking almost better in a role since he's got back. In terms of CBAs, I don't know how many CBAs he had on the weekend. He had 14, so it's not really a CBA role, but we just know how good he plays on the wing. In terms of their fixture, they've got St Kilda, North Melbourne, Essendon and West Coast on the run home. So 4 of the next 7 matchups are going to be pretty good matchups. The Geelong game's not a GMHBA, so that should be suitable for the wingers as well. We've just seen that he was tagged by Corey Wagner on the weekend. You can't tag him. You can't stop him. He marks, he tackles. He's just a brilliant all-round player. And if you've got the 60K to go up to him, I love it. And the other player I was going to mention with unlimited budget is another left-footer, Finn Callahan. I think the prophecy has come true for Finn.
Burner man.
Since he's come back, I will have a listen to this, boys.
I started him.
I don't want to hear it. I actually don't want to hear it.
Since
It
round
might be
six.
good
All
fun.
right,
Do you want to hear it? Since round six?
I'm a glutton for punishment. Go on.
116, 116, 133, 104, 110, 123, 113, 144. Hasn't gone below 100 since round 5.
Ooh.
I hate hearing
Stuff
that.
you, Finn. Nah, stuff you.
Yeah, bugger off, Finn. I was
But-
on Finn.
It's
I was
useless
riding the
stats
Finn.
to me, Jan. I've got 2 trades left. What can I do about it? He's out of reach. Gone.
He's out of reach.
He is. I've got 300K to play with because no Nico Maddo.
Nico
No good.
Maddo.
Nico Maddo, mate. Cash gen dead.
Uh,
I need a form premium at
But
380K.
if you're a Caldwell owner, mate, if you're a Caldwell owner and you had unlimited funding, would you go Goulden, Callahan, or another player like a Noah Anderson, or even Bond?
Nah,
Butters, those types.
No,
I've got
Gordon.
someone else.
Gordon
Who else?
easily. I think Hugh McCluggage is the other one that I really like as a pod. Livers at a
Yeah.
cheap
Yeah.
price, just popped. Like
Yeah.
that might suck to hear DR, but he's just popped and he's a very fair and reasonable, low 500K mark. So like he'd be the one if you're looking for someone that's probably capable top 8 mid. But yeah, I just think Errol, like as a winger, just does it all. I reckon he accumulates way too much for it to be a negative impact on the role because wingers often don't have that scoring potential, but he's a bit of an exception. Like there was a kick that he did late in red time that I don't think any other AFL player is going for. I mean, he marks it in the pocket right. A lot of players would just sort of bomb it down the line. He actually found a target and then they bombed it down the line. So he kicked it towards the flank, a real risky sort of kick because obviously if that turns over, like Freo getting an inside 50. So just those sort of kicks that he bites off and hits them as well. It's just a really good field kick. So Errol is just he's the one. He's probably the only winger in the game where you can back him with confidence. And I just don't see this form going away. He's just as good as he was when he was playing.
He
Boys.
makes
They
a
are
massive
huge.
difference to the side, though, doesn't he, as well? Look at Sydney's fortunes as soon as Errol's come back in.
They've
They
done
look
good
like a
with
different
his
side, don't they?
rotation.
Along with Mills and a couple of other soldiers there. But he is elite, and he's one of those blokes, we've talked about this before, about getting some enjoyment from the game. How fun is it actually owning Errol Goulden. It's it's a
that's
pretty
good.
good time, isn't
Very
it?
good
And that's something you need to take into account. Can I throw another name in the mix?
Go on.
Now, he's over 600K and he's actually got some DPP status. If I could just bring one bloke into my side, I'd love to bring this bloke in. It's Maxi Holmes. Now, it may put some people off given the fact that they look at him as defender, but I think with his run home and what he's produced this year, he could be a fantastic selection and even bring some flexibility into your side as well. So you look at his, since round 11, 128, 107, 152, 155, 110, and then only 100 against the Tigers last week was a bit of a McKercher, a bit of a butcher on the weekend, unfortunately. And lots
Be
of people
careful,
would have
mate.
him. Very controversial, I know, but lots of people would have had him as potentially that backup captain along with Baz. And that's where someone like you, Spillsy, got really unlucky, thinking that Baz would have been there. He's not. Then you got to go late with someone like a Gorn. But has GWS St Kilda, North, Port, Essendon, Sydney, and Richmond to come? And I think that there could potentially be a couple of extra big ceiling scores in there as well. So Maxi Holmes is someone that I don't mind whatsoever. And, Noah Anderson, I think, would be a really fun and enjoyable own. Janath, I was going to ask you did mention Finn Callaghan. Finn and Tom Green, who are you selecting if you had to choose between the two GWS boys? We know you're a Tom Green owner, and you talked, I think it was last week, since you brought him in, he has basically not failed you and been one of your best trade-ins of the year to date. But if you can only trade in one, let's just say owners don't have either.
I'd still say Green, DR. I just think he's got the runs on the board a little bit more. I think in the long term, I'd be a bit more comfortable.
You're going Tommy Stills?
Yeah, even though Finn's probably arguably better form, I just reckon Green's done it for a bit longer. And as the season progressed, I'd be a little bit more comfortable that he'd be able to sustain it. But that's I'm not trying to discredit Finn, but if I had to pick. But what do you reckon, Janath? That's a tough one, isn't it? That's a tough question.
It's a tough one. I'm almost if you like that sort of ceiling, then I see Finn Callaghan as the better pick. But they're both like in terms of scoring tons, they're scoring them weekly. Like Green sub-ton 3 times this year, low score for 84, whereas Callaghan had a bit of a slow start, only averaging 91 in the first sort of 5 weeks, but then he's really come on sort of thing. I'd almost lean Finn for the watchability factor, like just watching him play is enjoyable.
More fun, more exciting of an own.
But both of them are great picks. Boys, I just want to very quickly sort of throw out 3 other names around the Caldwell price bracket. So how would you rank? These are the 3 names, or I'll even add 4 in Connor Rozee because I think he's just looks awesome back in that halfback role. So the 4 picks around his price that sort of stand out to me. Oh, I'm going to throw in 5. Sorry, another defender. Connor Rozee, Lockie Ash are sort of 2, but that are 20K more expensive, but then around that same price. Tom Liberatore at 538, Nick Martin at 532 ahead of a mint matchup against Richmond, and then a bit low in the price, Jack McRae. So we're using DPP here to get all 3 of these blokes in, or if you want to. But how would you sort of rank those 5 as trade-in options for Caldwell? If you can get up to Rozee, it's a 30K difference. To Ash, the 20K difference. And then you got those other 3 there that are about the same price. Liberatore, Martin, and then McRae is cheaper.
I'm definitely having Ash ahead of Rozee. I've owned Rozee pretty much all year. Good score on the weekend, but pretty up and down. A lot of 80s. So that's that one. Libba. Who are the other ones? Do you have Nick Martin?
Libba, Nick Martin, and Jack McRae.
I'd probably have Libba ahead of Marto, even though the matchup's pretty good. Like, we did get a 60, so the break even's going to be like pretty up there, I'd imagine. Perfectly capable of hitting it. But I reckon Libba for this week, if I was to bring someone in, really on a hot. He just had his record game in a milestone, so no signs of slowing down. I think McRae would be a bit stiff, but I'd probably have him towards the bottom, in hit form a little bit, but still a little bit of uncertainty in the long run. It's a bit hard.
Oh, it's very, very tough. I'm finding that very tough. Like, for example, if you were a Campbell Gray owner then I really like Nick Martin. That there's a bit of flexibility there that you can swap and change between your defence and your forward. When you compare Rosie and Ash, I'd have Ash ahead, but just that DPP of Rosie, it really does tempt me. That
Do we need
flexibility.
the DPP? Like, we've got Sheasel and Sinclair, and
But that's assuming the teams, mate. Like, if you're Caldwell owner and you don't know any of these things, who would you go best? Like, who would
I'd back a mid only. Like, we've got, I'm assuming most sides have Sardo Hawley, and every side's going to have McCarthy. So for every sort of Sheasel, Sinclair owner, I don't think the DPP matters. I don't really think you need it. You can get away with picking a mid only as well. So I don't know. It's a good point. McKercher too is another one. Is the other one I forgot, but yeah, I think there's a lot of defender mids. I've got 3 defenders in my midfield right now. So I don't know. I think it's a great point, but I reckon just under circumstances, what would be a pretty valid point kind of gets overlooked by that. I still think like a mid only would be fine, but I don't know.
It's so hard.
It is hard.
I don't want to disrespect Jack McRae because he's got a really nice fixture coming up. I'd almost have it Ash, Martin, Rosie, Libba, McRae. I think for me.
That's really interesting.
It's a bit different to me, but it's still hard to argue. I don't think you can argue too much.
That's on the run as well, without a heap of thoughts and really deep diving into your numbers. If you asked me the question, gave me an hour to give you an answer, I might come up with a different order, but I just really like Ash. I think he's a super pod. There's question marks around Whitfield at the moment, and the more question marks around Whitfield, and I think the higher the stocks rise for someone like Lockie Ash. Martin, I really like his DPP. Super matchup this week as well. Super versatile. They've all got so much upside to them, each of the picks. I can't see a heap of downside to too many of them, to be quite honest. So, yeah, it's a very, very tough rating system. But I think what we've got here is, I think we can all agree, 5 really good names that you could replace Caldwell with, or replace another midfielder with around Caldwell's price.
I'm always going Ash. I like Ash the most. Like, I think it's pretty fair with the 4 underneath, but I reckon if you're looking for someone that's really like top of their line, I'd be happy to lock in a Lockie Ash and then have a bit of defense DPP in the midfield. I reckon he would be the one that I'd pick. If I had unlimited money, I would. Yeah, if I didn't pick Goulden or McCluggage, that they were the only mid onlys that I would go for. I'd very much elect a Lockie Ash. I don't think Whitfield really affects him too much. We've seen that this year. It's not really it's more the other way around. It's more Ash affecting Whitfield. If anything, I wish I had Ash instead of Whitfield. So, yeah, I reckon he's a gun.
You boys are both dead set Errol #1, so you can choose any player.
Yeah, I reckon.
I think in terms of those 5, though, mate, I'd probably bring Martin down a little bit. Like, he has the mint matchup this week against Richmond, but then on the run home, there's not too many matchups that necessarily scream pick me. And so we saw what like Braden Campbell did to the running halfbacks against Freo. What's to say that won't happen against Sydney? And then, so that's why I really like Rosie. Like, maybe it's not because I don't own him, but he hasn't necessarily, in his last 5 games, 4 of them have been above 116 plus. Like, you take that any day of the week from a defender. So I would go Ash, Rosie, and then it gets a bit tricky because I think that Jack Sinclair, with the back-to-back matchups playing against Richmond and North Melbourne, and then Essendon, that set of matchups alone is almost vindicative to go there in a way, in the finals. So I really like that. And so if we think about it, I probably have McRae at 4, Martin at 5, Libba at 3. Libba's really benefiting from Treloar, but we all saw that the Doggies midfielders can have off days like we saw against Sydney. So just something to keep in mind there.
No, love it, mate. Love it. So I think if you take any advice from that, just listen to the last 15 odd seconds where Janath gives his recommendations and go exactly with them. But yeah, it's
Man with the 3-digit rank, just back him in every time.
just back him in.
The professor at the Swordplay potty, just back him in.
Yeah, we're taking up space.
Don't worry
here
about myself and DR. That's just our own
That is
take.
not true, mate. That is not true.
Good discussion, boys. But I think, yeah, in all seriousness, some really nice options there. You've got some defenders, some pure mids, as well as even McRae as that forward option, and even tell you what, Brady Grundy is someone I should have mentioned as well. If you can get anyone in, if you can do some flex action there, then Brady Grundy is on an absolute tear. And I think that pretty much takes us through the targets, boys. Or is there anything else that you wanted to mention, sort of target wise, or happy to move on? Now, the rookie data dump again. The cupboard is totally bare, and I've just put
top 3. Yes.
Oh, let's look at what we're working with here.
Bring him in.
A bloke that Spillsy is desperate for at number 3, desperate for to get back into the side, but we know Big Kizza is here at the moment. McCarthy, we've talked about to death. If you don't own him, you've got to go side at the moment. You're not actually playing Supercoach properly. Job Shanahan is a man with 2 games, had a really impressive game with a 94 on the weekend.
Really good.
Georgie Stevens. Now, I don't know a lot about him as a footballer, but I remember an early interview. This is pre-draft, him getting drafted, and just seemed like a super impressive sort of young man. Just got a really nice feel for him, and just based off personality, I was really rooting for the Lions to have a crack at him. But just based off that, really, really happy for the bloke that he ended up getting a game. Liddy, he was a little bit ripped off, wasn't he, with the DNP? Poor old Manny. And Janath, is it time to play the kids, Ben and Lucas? Is it time to give these guys a run?
I think so. What's there to lose, really? Like, Blake Acres has looked a shell of himself this year. I think that's the way to go. Will that happen? Probably not. Boss's job's on the line, but I think he's probably gone at the end of the season anyway. And then, Liddy. Look, very quickly, I know this is a side note, but Asava Radicalia was traded a couple of years ago from Geelong. Do you boys want to have a guess? I'll tell you who it is, actually, save some time. The 2 picks that they got in return were Lawson Humphreys and George Stevens.
Wow.
How good is that? That is Geelong recruiting.
They're just recruiting specialists.
They're good.
They don't miss. They actually don't miss. They do it.
They don't miss.
Like the best one ever in history is Tom Stewart. That's the best.
Poor old Spillsy with the dodo there for years and years.
Dodo.
Just wreaking havoc.
Oh, mate. Wait, what was that?
We're done with the rookie data dump, boys, and I think we're pretty. Who
cares
much
about it? Like you probably got 2 trades left anyway. You just don't care about rookies. So I'll just trade a loophole and save an extra 20k. But it's
Spillsy,
a good concept anyway.
That was simply an offer there, mate. It was Bolton for a bag of chips. That's the only thing that I put on offer there, mate. So Bolton for a bag of chips. If anyone will allow me that, and we'll go with light and tangy if possible.
I'd rather just starve.
Now, boys, I've got something special for you. I'll put you 2 at the top because you're going to go head-to-head in Supercoach Trivia. This is all 2025 based. All the questions I've got 10 questions. Some of the questions worth more than a point. So I'm going to keep track as you boys go along. Now, if you're playing along at home, do so as well. See how many points you can get. This quiz is worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16 points. 16-point quiz, 10 questions.
Should we have a name? Like when you read out the question, we have to say a name.
No, you're gonna write it down. So you can both get it. You can both get it. Yes, you can both get it. 16 points, 10 questions. Now, do you want to go through the answers at the end or after each question? Up to you.
Your quiz here, mate. You tell us how it's run. Now, you've got 2 contestants here that have not been watching a heap of football or keeping up with Supercoach lately, so don't be expecting any grand prizes.
Viewers, I'll tell you. This is going to frustrate a few. We scream at
And no cheating, okay? No looking at Supercoach Gold or anything like that, all right?
Phone's
gone. Not to say the questions are from Supercoach Gold, but nonetheless. All right, let's do it. So the first question. There are 3 players that have scored the most 100-plus scores this year with 13. For 1 point, can you tell me at least one of these players? So you can write it down, or you can tell me.
Oh, so
we
I
write
just
it in the chat, or what?
Or you can buzz in and get it if you want, because there's
Or
three
can
players.
we just buzz? We just have our own like
you go
like
buzz.
a game show.
All right, we'll do it that way.
Have a word that you say, and then I'll have a word.
He goes Peanut. You go.
I'll go Ridley.
Ridley. I was going to say that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. All right, Peanut and Ridley.
Yep.
1,300 plus scores. There have been 3 players. Name one of them for the point.
I'll say Tristan Sherry.
Boom, boom.
Oh, bugger off.
Spillsy, over to you.
George Hewitt.
George Hewitt. There we go. +1 to Spillsy.
Oh, yes.
Now, get out of it.
I will give you some bonus points. I was going to go
Nas as well.
I'll give you some bonus points actually. If you can get 3. So we'll keep going because I reckon the other 2 are pretty attainable. DR, what were you going to go?
Naziah.
Naz is incorrect as well. So Naz has, I think it's 12. So Naz, give me a second. So Naz is, oh my goodness, why is it not loading? Sorry.
I might have a potty
Naz is 12.
Well.
Naz is 12. Cherry is not in there. Spillsy, you go. Do you have another one?
This could be a bit weird because we have seen a floor score, but Jordan Clark.
Not Jordan Clark.
Because he's been really consistent. Not like, Jordan you just get 104 every week for like 6 weeks. So I thought maybe he'd be a
Spillsy.
So
that's actually a hard one.
Tristan Cherry is also 12.
Oh, geez. So I'm close enough.
But not.
There's only 2 more names that I can.
There's 2 more names.
Of.
All
right. I'll go Huey McCluggage and Lockie Ash.
Well, he's gone 2 for 1. One of them's right. Huey McCluggage is right. Lockie Ash isn't. So Huey McCluggage has 13. Lockie Ash has. He has. Lockie Ash. Wait, do you say Lockie Ash?
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry.
No, he's botched it.
Sorry,
he's botched it there.
He's got both. There we go. Lockie Ash and Huey McCluggage. Sorry,
nice.
That's on me. Spillsy, you said George Hewitt first. That's why I mixed it up. So there you've gone into an early lead there. You got 2 points. Spillsy on 1 point. So I don't know about that. Bit of a cheeky tactic going there 2 for 1.
Yeah, I wasn't too hot on that, Janath. I'd probably just give him the 1 for that, but it's your game.
All right. We'll give him 1.5.
You just do your own thing, and I'm just happy to be involved.
No, that's all right. We'll give him 1. We'll give him 1. That's a bit different, Spillsy. All right. The next question. Now, this one does need to be buzzed in, and we're going to give you a bonus point if you can tell me the score. So, who is the player that scored the most points in a Supercoach game this season, and what was their score?
Oh, I don't even.
1 point for the player, 1 point for the score. Yeah, go for it.
Was it Max Gorn against West Coast?
It was Max Gorn. Now tell me, do you remember the score?
Nice, Spills.
If you get it within 5, I'll give you the point.
Okay. Nice. I can't remember if it was in the 200s or not, but I reckon it was like. I know it was either like low 200s or like almost like 190 or something.
Okay.
I reckon I'm going to say it was in the 200s. 210.
It was 198.
I knew it was like
close. It has not
been
a 200 this year. But you get the point from Max Gorn.
Well done, Spillsy.
All right.
That
was really annoying me that. I knew it was like really close.
With a points per minute of 1.19, who has the highest points per minute across the competition this year?
Could be anyone. I'm thinking of high ceiling, not so much like overall average, but someone that just sort of has the ability to break a game. Are they a pod?
They are less than 10% owned.
All right.
But they're not like a rookie. They're like a legitimate player, like a player you want to have in your final team.
Midfielder.
All right, I'll take a stab.
Yeah.
Ed Richards.
Not Ed Richards.
Thanks, DR, because that was going to be my guess.
Great.
I'll give you another clue. I'll give you another clue. He was in the category of must-have in our tier maker.
Well, it's your guess, Spillsy. I've had mine.
Yeah, I might.
Oh, I might have. Yeah,
I'm just gonna say Gorn.
It's not Max Gorn.
No, that's tough.
Is
That's a hard
Is
one,
it
Janath.
Baz?
It is not Baz. Spills, I'll give you
Oh.
one more guess. If you can't get it, I'll reveal the answer.
One more guess.
Yeah.
Must have territory. It's not Nas, is it?
It's not Naz. It's Brody Grundy.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
Brody
I
Grundy.
was never getting that because you overlook him completely.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Brody Grundy. All right.
Nice.
Now, the next question. Currently, there's a bonus point here as well. Currently, who is the highest owned player in Supercoach overall, not in the top 1%? And you get the bonus point if you can get it within, let's say, 5 percentage points. Oh, no, we'll go 3. If you can get it within 3% of the ownership. So the player and the ownership.
Peanut.
Yeah.
Is it Bailey Smith?
It is Bailey Smith.
And so what was the overall? So it's overall ownership.
Overall ownership.
Overall, I'm going to say 70.4%.
You're so close. It's 74.4. So you were not within the 3%, but very close, mate.
I was getting caught in 2 minds because I know a lot traded him out, like particularly the laid out. So I didn't want to go there. I was trying to think, like, who is it?
That.
Yeah. No, good work, boys. So currently it's 2-2, heading into the 5th question now.
Come on, Spills.
All right. There are 3 players that have had an overall price rise of more than $250,000 this year. Can you name me one of these players? And you get a bonus point if you can get their price rise within 20K.
Ridley.
Okay.
Ned Long.
Not Ned Long.
What?
Ooh. Peanut. Zach Reed.
Zach Reed is one, yes.
I probably think more rookies, eh? Like, who's a rookie?
And is it how much money did he make?
Or actually, very quickly, I have to give it a... So I'm going to give you a point, Spills, because he had gone above 250K, but he's come down past it. So he went up 273K. So I'll give you a point. Yeah. I'll give you a point. That's right. But right now, from their starting price sort of thing. Sorry, I should have reiterated that. Dia, what do you say? Zach Reed?
Zach Reed.
Yeah. And give me a price rise.
Well, so it would have been, what did he start off with? So he started off at about 120. Goes to 500. So 330?
319. You got the bonus point. Well done.
There's another one, isn't there, Janath?
There's 2 more that that's not Ned Long.
All right. Ridley.
You can keep going. Yeah.
Caleb Daniel.
Not Caleb Daniel.
You're
Again,
joking.
I think he's one that went above 250 at one point, but he's not.
That's what I meant though. Like,
right now.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he hasn't gone above. He hasn't gone above 500. So, yeah, he hasn't gone up 250. Go on, Dia.
How about Miami Bice? Riley Bice.
Miami Bice is a good one. Again, he's definitely nowhere near plus 250 right now, but he did. He went above. He went above. So I think there's a bit of an issue with this question because there's going to be players that went up and down sort of thing. There's 2 more
one
players.
One more crack.
Have one more crack. Right now, they've gone above 250K from their starting price to right now.
Right now, okay, it might be wrong then. I probably don't know if I want to say it now because I haven't owned him in a while, so I don't even know like what he's.
That's all right. You may be on the right path.
I just have a swing like last crack. I'm just going to say like a good rookie, like Levi Ashcroft.
Oh, I think Levi did not go above 250K. He was one of those players that was sort of teasing us sort of thing. I don't think he went above 400. Yeah, he didn't go above 400. The 2 players I was looking for, and if you look back on hindsight.
One last one.
He wants one more.
It's not Angus Sheldrick, is it?
Angus Sheldrick, it isn't. It isn't Angus Sheldrick.
Right.
Angus Sheldrick, I think, went very close. Yeah, so his max was 226.
Okay.
So
The confusing
Max Hall,
part is knowing what they are now compared to what they made. That's where I was getting it twisted.
for the most part, it was good. Apart from
Yeah.
Bice and Ned Long, the two that I was hoping to get was Max Hall. He's up 280k from his starting price.
Yeah.
And the next one I think was a rookie we all missed at the start of the season. Dan Curtin is now 413k.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is he really? Wow.
He had 153 against Richmond. So he is now 413k.
That's off its head. I can't believe
unreal,
that.
isn't it?
Unreal. All right, boys. We're going into the back half of the quiz now. The next question is, how many players right now are above 600k? And I want you to give me 3 players.
Ridley.
All right, well, you've got Mac.
Ridley.
Oh, sorry.
Ridley's going in.
Maybe like 11?
Not 11. It's lower.
I'm going to say...
Hold on, it's Diaz.
8.
It is 8. It is 8. Now, can you get 3 of them? And you get the point.
Well, I'm thinking it's Brodie Grundy.
Yep.
Bailey Smith.
Yep.
Because I won't use my boy Max Holmes. And Nicky Dacos.
Nicky Dacos is one. Now, I will give you... So you got 1 point so far. I'll give you a bonus point if you can rattle off the other 5.
All right, so you've got Sherry.
Yep.
Gorn.
Yep, that's 5.
Naz.
Yep.
Is it Seg Grundy Butters?
It isn't. It is. Phils, you can jump in here for the bonus point. You can jump in if you want. 1 player that DR missed.
That's 600k. Tough because
Butters is 597.2. You can come back in DR if you want.
Is it? I think I might know. Is a bit of
yes. That's a good
dogger action. Dogger over 600.
Luke Jackson. He's the second most expensive player in the competition.
Yes, good one. That's a good get, mate. I got to give you the kudos. That's a great
652k. So we got 1 player that's over 700. That's Brodie Grundy at 727. Jackson 652. Holmes 621. Gorn 613. Dacos 613. Smith 611. Naz 606. Cherry 604. All right, DR, you're building a bit of a lead here. It's 6 points to 3, but there are some big juicy questions coming up.
Spillsy's coming on.
This is question 7. Which midfield eligible player, so this doesn't mean that they're just midfield, mind you, has 98 kick-ins this season, which is the highest amongst midfield eligible players?
Peanut. It's got to be Connor Rozee.
It's not Connor Rozee. He is in the top 3.
I reckon I might have.
No, I don't know. Is it?
So Connor Rozee is 46, by the way.
I reckon I've got it, Spillsy. No
I reckon you do as well, and I absolutely don't. I don't know. I kind of want to say like Jack Sinclair or something, but
is that your final answer?
No, because I didn't like that reaction.
Didn't like the reaction.
That was a big cringe from yourself. That was like you're close, but not quite mid. So they've obviously got DPP, probably a defender mid.
Maybe think outside the box, Spillsy. If I'm right.
Oh, he's got it.
No, I don't. I hate this. This is a shit game. I'm so rattled.
There's someone, Spillsy.
And I know the answer's going to piss me off so much too.
He's probably pissed you off a little bit at stages this
That's
year.
What I was going to say. He's definitely someone that can piss you off. I think he's pissed off his own fans as well.
Oh, Zach Merritt.
No, not Zach Merritt.
Well, I don't know, boys. I just don't know. When you say pissed off, I think, he's pissed me off. He's been playing down back.
Spillsy, it's our little helmeted friend, I think, mate. Caleb Daniel.
Yeah, no, I was never getting that.
Apparently
I was never getting that. I completely forget about him. Yeah, sorry, boys. That was really hard. I don't know why. But now the
No,
answer's really obvious.
It's because
How
you're
about-
right though. You automatically think about a
You don't think
defensive mid, and you start going through them. But then little helmet's sitting there in the forward line, and you sort of don't. Your mind doesn't go
He's
there.
not even
So
in the team either. Like
a
you
bit
wouldn't even really
tricky.
think about it. And the average isn't good either. But that's a good one, Janath. Gee, that was a tough
He's a
one
good
for me.
quiz master. Yeah.
Quiz
So
master.
there are 3 midfield eligible players that have more than 75% kick-ins. This isn't a question. Daniel is 1, 98. Jack Sinclair's 82. This third one, this isn't exactly a quiz question, but I can give a point if you can get this. He was, who am I? We're going to play Who Am I? I have 75 kick-ins as, I have 75 kick-ins. I'm midfield eligible. I'm also forward eligible. I was a popular trade-in at one point in the season. My role changed in the last month or so.
It's a mid forward.
I am a mid forward.
But they're smashing the kick-ins because their role changed.
Their role changed.
Oh, I know it.
Play in a bottom 6 team.
Who?
Marek.
Ryan Marish, it is.
Yes.
Spillsy.
That doesn't even count either.
It does. I said I was giving the point if you can get it.
Oh, okay.
You deserve that because you were on Marek while we were all on Humpty Dumpty there, Spillsy. So
what a call that was too. Everyone was going against me. I just thought the role's better, and then I know it didn't work out in the end. But gee, Humphrey was a bloody pain in the ass one. He would have shit on that one.
All right, boys. 3 more questions. This next one's also worth 2 points. Who has the most scores above 120 this season? And the bonus point is for if you can tell me how many scores that is.
Ridley.
Oh, Peanut.
Ridley's in.
All right, Ridley.
Can I say Cherry?
It is Cherry.
Yep.
Okay. And then the number.
9.
Hard. Oh, you're so close. It was 8.
Yeah.
So close. So Cherry doesn't have the most 100+ scores. He has 12, but he has the most 120+ scores.
That's what I was looking for. Yeah, 120.
Nice, Spillsy.
Am I getting the point for that, but not the bonus point?
You don't get the bonus point, but you get the point. Now you're within 2. And this next question is worth 1 point. The last question is worth 4 points. So it could be all to play for come the last question.
So that's a lot to lose for DR. I'd be upset if I was him. Stiff. He's just gained the lead and now he could lose it just like that.
I'm gone. You're going to do
no
a
pressure though. I've got nothing to lose, but there's no pressure.
Now for this next question, I have to preface this by saying that the first half of the season is defined up until round 12 or round 13, we'll say. It's fine. And the second half of the season is from round 13 onwards. Okay, so we're up to round 18 now. Which forward eligible player was ranked 3rd in Supercoach average in the first half of the year, but in the second half of the year currently is ranked 25th amongst forward eligible players?
Ridley.
Isaac
Rankin.
No, it's not Isaac Rankin. Good guess though.
Gee, come on, that's a good one. Sure, I was feeling pretty confident with that. Very gettable now.
I will go with the horny man.
Yeah.
It's not the horny man. Not the horny man. It's someone. Yeah, we're close. Spillsy. Or DR. Whoever.
Can you repeat it again? Just one more time.
Which forward was ranked 3rd? So 3rd amongst forwards in the first half of the year by average. But in the second half of the year, so since round 13, is ranked 25th in average amongst forwards.
Oh, can I have a hint? Can I ask a hint? Is it a key forward?
Okay.
Is it a key forward?
It is not a key forward. It is not someone you consider a key forward.
Is it Caleb Daniel?
It is not Caleb Daniel, but this goes to show how mediocre the forwards are because all of these, I would say, are good guesses. I'll give you boys a hint.
All right.
This man is synonymous with our channel. First in.
Nicky Martin.
Nicky Martin it is. It is Nicky Martin. So Nicky Martin's had an absolute mare the last couple of weeks. He has gone. His last 3 or 4
Gee, I wouldn't have got that.
Have been 88, 93, 68. So.
Wowee. Because he was a great
before
pick.
that, he was averaging 108 up until round 13. So he was the 3rd ranked forward. But now, in that last 3 games, he's the 25th ranked forward.
That's a tough one. Yeah, I don't think I was ever answering that, to be honest with you.
Well, you were close.
Yeah.
Look, Spillsy, the score is 8-5. It is not over because this last question is worth.
This is, if I get this is stiff on DR. He's flogged me. This is how much I've watched footy this year, boys.
Now, I don't know if you could be able to do it, but what I want to know is the number 1 averaging player in each line. Now, we're going to go one by one. If you get one wrong, the other person can start. Now, you can start with whatever line you want, but you've got to get the highest averaging player, and you've got to get their average within 5 points.
All right. I'll go Peanut with 1.
No, hold on. Spillsy will start. We'll give him. He's got 3 points.
All right, Spillsy.
3-point lag at the moment. Within 5 points on the average.
So go on defender.
Okay.
First. I'm going to go Max Holmes.
It's not Max Holmes.
It's not even Holmes, is it?
I mentioned him on the pod. I went through the rankings in the potty today.
Yeah, you probably did.
Go on.
It's just, I'm just going to, where's the white flag? Here's the white flag.
You could come back, Spills, but I think it is our man Nazaya
Now to get the point, you've got to get it within 5.
It's 112 points. 112.5.
Again, 112.5. His average is, drum roll, his average is 112.9. So, Dia, you get close. Naz, tick. Spillsy, you can get any of the other 3 lines.
You should be able to take a ruck.
Yeah, I can take a ruck. It's just by average or total points?
Average.
Grundy? It's not Grundy, is it?
It's not Grundy.
This is a hard game. I mean, in current form, you'd honestly, without even looking at it, you'd think, like, surely in current form, his average would be, like, crazy. Because I do own Gorn, and I don't, like, he's definitely plummeted. So it's like, I don't know.
DR?
It's out of 1 or 2, isn't it? Gonna go Tristan.
It is Tristan Cherry. And what is his average?
I'm gonna say 123.1.
125.5. You're within the 5. You get the point. All right, 2 more positions. Now, I'm going to give a very quick technicality. Errol Goulden is the number 1 mid by average, but he's played 3 games. So we're gonna go down to the second one to get the midfield. Okay. So you got a mid, you got the mid, and you got the forward.
I'll take the forward.
Okay.
It's Baz.
It is not Baz.
What?
It's not Baz.
It is not Baz.
Average.
It is not Baz by average.
Right, I'll jump in. Yeah. It's got to be Dogger.
It's just going to be another answer that just pisses me off so much.
It is Dogger. And what is his average?
I forget about him. You think he's a ruck, right? But then you go, yeah, he's a ruck forward. Like, you don't even... He's such a pod as well, so his name doesn't really pop up. Jeez. I'm going to... Feel free to just... I'm happy to hear it in the comments. Like, whatever's coming.
I'm going to say 116.
119.5. He's averaging 120 as a ruckman, as a forward. Sorry. So you get the point there. Yeah. Now come on, Spillsy. Come on, clutch up. Get the mid.
This is a mulligan season.
This is for pride, mate. This is for pride right now.
I was none left, mate. There's no pride now. I'm like, now the pressure's really on because I'm just going to get done in straight sets here. I can see it. So midfielder, we've got one more line left. I don't know. I feel like the mid's actually the hardest line to pick.
I think it is the hardest line.
It's super even. I don't think anyone's averaging in the 120s.
I reckon I've got a guess. Spills.
I was going to say Bond. I have no idea.
Oh, that was my guess. That was my guess too, Spills.
That's the hardest line, and I've botched all of them, so there's no confidence like getting this at all.
Oh, so if it's not Bond, because Bond was my guess too, mate. Ed Richards?
It's not Ed Richards. Ed Richards is 111. He's the 12th ranked midfielder, I think.
Jeez, 12 ranked.
Yeah. Spillsy. You're still alive, mate. You're still alive. If it's not Bond,
Yeah.
if it's not Richards,
Dacos.
it's not Josh. It's not Nick Dacos.
Nah.
All right. How about
Thought that'd be too easy.
my man, the suitcase, Hugh McCluggage?
It's not the suitcase. He is third, though. And this other play, they all average the same in terms of the first three digits. But this player beats the other two.
Oh, I think there's only one more that I'm thinking of. I think
It's
there's
not
only one
rocket
more I
science,
can
boys.
think
Come
of.
on. It's not.
All right.
It's not a trick question.
It's
Is
Zach
it Zach
Butters.
Butters. It is
Yeah,
Zach
nice
Butters.
Bills.
And
Yeah,
his average,
nice.
Spillsy,
Oh.
within
my
5.
God.
Within 5.
What's his average, Spills? Have a crack.
This isn't hard. This isn't hard.
Like 116?
Yeah. So they all average 119. Butters is 119.8.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Bont is 119.5. McCluggage is 119.1. So they're all within
Oh,
0.7 of
close.
each other. You get the point there, Spillsy. That brings the quiz to the
It
end. How
still
did you
feels
go
like an
with
owl,
points?
that one. I just wasn't with
Yeah,
it.
you got 11 points. Spillsy, you got 6.
That's a
But-
pub stomp.
How was the quiz? Was it okay?
Mate, very, very well done on your behalf. You should have got some contestants that have been paying a little bit more attention lately,
Yeah.
but
There
very,
was a
very
bit of
impressive,
Sydney,
mate.
but I felt like Sydney and it was playing Brisbane in the granny. That's what that felt like. Just half
Get it.
as
Hey,
good.
do you know what though? Spillsy? DR was saying before that he's going to go into this as the underdog. So there is a little bit of Brizzy Sydney here. You're Sydney, the favourite, and you just get done by
Mate,
a much hungrier opponent.
In what world was I the favourite there? Who's saying that?
Your opponent. Your opponent was saying that.
Jeez.
No, it's
Now
a
I'm
very
under
nice
all sorts of
question, mate.
adversity. All sort of adversity here. Like, yeah, they'll be coming for me in the comments now. So
It can
yeah,
be coming for you.
I'm under the limelight. DR's trading
Spillsy.
Bolton.
Talk about empty here, mate. Bolton for a bag of chips. If anyone will take it, then I'll be pleased with that. And hopefully no praise needed for the week. And it will only be unless there is carnage. So, boys, really, this is one we're finishing up with for the week. It is the Capitano's Corner. As always, Rossco and Janath, wonderful work here. We can see a little bit of green here. I can see some shades of red. But I know last week that Spills and I originally said that we were going together for the pod Sam Darcy. Sorry, Spillsy, I backed out last minute, mate.
You left him on an
I do
island.
apologise. I backed out. I decided to go with Bond, and in all honesty, I would have probably been with you with Max Gawn at the end of the day because Baz would have been my safe backup captaincy option, and very unlucky if you didn't manage to get your Bont like all of us did last week. So some good advice last week, brother. What are your big tips going into this week with the Captain's Corner?
Now I'm going to go straight and jump to a player. This is the first time I think I've seen this happen this year, where a player's last 3 scores. So in terms of green, there's the darkest green, which is above 135 average. Nick Dacos' last 3 scores, his last 3 average versus Gold Coast, and his last 3 average at People First Stadium. The matchup in both the last 5 games and the last 10 games are all dark green. So he averages 138 in his last 3, 136 against Gold Coast and at People First Stadium. Gold Coast mids are the easiest matchup to play against in the last 5 games, and Gold Coast mids are the second easiest matchup to play against the last 10 games for Supercoach. I think this is one of the easier VC selections I've seen all year. By the data. It's going to be a close game, I think. He's played well there before. I'd be very happy to lock that in. If you've got one of the Essendon boys, even though they're not in the best form, Merritt did score 159 on the weekend, but lock them in. They're going to go big this week. I can't really see a reason why they don't. So if you have one of them, lock them in. Nazai Wangani Malera is one that if he wasn't coming up against James Jordan, I'd feel much more confident in going there. And then if you've got any of the Port boys against West Coast, they should be fine fallback captaincy options, I think. So Connor Rosé against West Coast, Zach Butters against West Coast, The horny one is the wild card in this mix because we know that he can score well on his day, but he just hasn't had the form recently. And if you compare his form with Nick Dacos's, you got dark greens against dark reds. So, what I'd be looking to do is even a Lockie Neal. I know there's some Lockie Neal owners out there. Carlton very poor midfield
I'm not
at the
interested.
moment. I know I won't tempt you. And then if you can somehow pick the Geelong midfielder, I have a feeling that one of them will go off this week. And I have a feeling that Finn Callahan will get off the chain this week as well. So that matchup is a tough one to predict. But if you can predict that, you're gonna be looking good. And of course, I can't forget Brodie Grundy playing against St Kilda and Rowan Marshall. We saw what Lloyd Meek did to Rowan Marshall on the week, and even though the Marshall scored well, so did Lloyd Meek. What can Brodie Grundy do? It's the second easiest matchup over the last 5 games against opposition ruckman, and the third easiest matchup over the last 10 games opposition ruckman. So I would be looking to do Dacos into any of Grundy, Rosie, or Butters. Or if you've got one of the Essendon boys, Dacos into Merida Martin. If you really want to see how Merida Martin go, and you've got one of the Port boys or Grundy, you can go one of the Essendon boys into one of them. Personally, I'll be going Dacos into Butters. Spillsy?
I think Dacos definitely. Believe it or not, boys, don't have Butters. Not an owner.
That's right.
Neither do I, mate. It hurts.
Tough.
It's going to be hide behind your couch this week. I don't own the Horny Man, Rosie, or Butters. Like, it's going to be tragic. This game is going. I'm not going to
no merit either. Like Gordon's
Rosie
playing.
is a good pick for you, mate. Rosie is a great pick for you. Safe captaincy option.
I think I'll go Rosie. Like, West Coast. I don't really have any other options, man. Like, it's slim pickings. It's super difficult. Another one, really, like I do like Brayshaw against Hawthorn too, but just I don't think I could do that with the current form.
Form's been really sus.
Form's been really bad, and Strong's the one that's picked him too. Like, who would have seen that one coming? So I thought Strong would be the man that sort of copped all the tags, but I don't know. It's just more of a form thing. Yeah. I do like Dacos VC is almost a lock, but I don't know. It is a tricky one.
DR?
I'm with you there with Dacos. How are you not going to VC Nick Dacos? Take a look at the chart there. I don't see any reason not to VC him. For me, a lot of the players that I'd love to captain I don't actually own. So I don't own any of the Port guys. You'd love to own Brodie Grundy.
It's really hard, isn't it?
You touched on it with Naz. I'm super worried about what happened with Sydney last week in regards to the tagging. So I think that he may be in for a potential tag there. So for me, it's most likely going to be the Bont. I think now he's been very, very up and down. We saw what he did last week, but what I'm thinking is playing against Adelaide, it's going to be a huge match, major ramifications for both sides in regards to their finals run, how they're going to win the season. So I think that it's going to be a huge game and Bont's going to step up for that big game. So hopefully I don't have to use him. I'd be pretty surprised, but my threshold this week is I'd most likely take a 120 because I don't own any of the Port guys. I'm taking a 120 and running, I think, from Dacos this week.
I want to give a pod one out as well, like never doing it, but I reckon Whitfield on return is just going to come out and go bang, gut feel.
That is a pod,
back on the home deck. Always seems to play well at home, and I think he's a bit hungry for footies. He should have played last week. He didn't. I just reckon he comes and just really dominates. But am I going there? Like, hell no. But I just reckon he's like just a real smoky. Like, I think he'll go under the radar. I'd love to jump on the pod next week and discuss him. Hopefully, going like a 150. Like, where'd that one come from? But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it. So we'll see. I think I'm going to go Dacos for Rosé though. Like, that's the best I can do. I don't have anyone else.
I don't think you can go wrong with that, mate. Don't think you
we'll
can go wrong. Lads, that is it for the week. So, we've gone an hour and 30. So, we've still managed to rabble on. We thought, hour, easy for this one. But we've managed to go half an hour over. But enjoy this one, lads. A very nice quiz that you brought to the table again this week. Janath, you've been killing it with the tier makers. So, bringing the ideas, bringing the heat with the overall rankings. Top of the pod, mate. You cannot do anything wrong at the moment. GDS, you're killing it there as well. Spillsy, you and I are struggling a little bit at the moment, but mate, we are already planning for 2026. And I tell you what, mate, we're going to start like a house on fire next year. Look out, competition, because Spills and I are just having a bit of a mulligan for 2025, and then hitting back, Spills? Hitting back hard, son.
Love it.
Hopefully.
And have I heard on the rumor mill that there may be a possible content creator super draft happening in 2026?
Now, Janath, this is going to be the biggest event. I'm calling it now. The biggest Supercoach event of 2026. There'll be a lot more information to come, a few T's to cross and I's to dot, but this is going to be the biggest thing ever. It's going to be extremely, extremely controversial. It may ruffle some feathers, you may say. It may give some people a massive pat on the back and a bit of a head wobble, but a lot to work out. But I'm not going to say too much at this stage. Maybe next week, when I confirm a couple of things with a couple of the lads, we might go a bit of the early crow and give a bit of an Easter egg for 2026, because this is going to be huge, absolutely huge. I'm already thinking, boys, who I'm going to be taking with my first pick. I already know who Spillsy is going to be taking. Actually, Spillsy.
We don't have the order yet, do we? We got a draft order?
We got a draft order.
Do you know what? I was thinking this. I reckon, sorry, Janath, I reckon that we go whoever ranked like the lowest in the overall this year gets the first
All right,
pick.
I see how it is.
I'll pick 2.
I see how it is.
We're going the old snake draft. So
that's fair, you know.
That's good. That's fair.
You've got to cop that.
Yeah, we'll go the snake draft. So who knows who's going to be getting number 1 pick? Could be any of us apart from Janath.
Can I share something real quick? I may or may not have allegedly sent a certain person a text going, "Hey, look, mate, just to let you know, this is happening, and if I get the opportunity,
I'm
going to draft it."
You started early, recruiting, spooking. You're joking me.
Now, very quickly, can I just add, DR, that I think that anyone that is participating in the competition, just prepare a Supercoach resume. Why don't you just have your ranks over the last 10 years or 5 years, or however long you're playing, and just have that ready to hand in to the lads. If this
are we accounting like this?
That is all I'm saying
for it as well. Is it mostly this year's form related, or like what their content is, or like what's the?
Look, it's up to you, mate. It's up to you.
We're going to review. We've talked too much about this now because people are going to be confused. People, we can announce next year, we're going to have the official Swordplay draft. So how this is going to work, we're going to be the coaches, and we are going to select 19 teams each to be in our super team. I think I'm going to be calling my team the Butchers, maybe the Northern Suburbs Butchers.
I love
at this stage. It's a bit of an ode to one of my favourite people in Supercoach. But if you want to be involved in this, early next year, we're going to put a tweet out. You can tag yourself in that tweet if you want to enter the draft pool. We'll then be able to possibly select you or whoever else is in the pool as part of our own squads. And at the end of the year, all 4 squads are going to be competing, and whoever gets the most total points, that squad is going to win. It's going to be full of content creators and just the general public as well. So anyone that is watching this, you are free to enter the draft pool. It's going to be massive. It's going to be a big live draft as well. So if you want to throw your hat in the ring, absolutely go for it. Who's going to be number 1? Very, very interesting. Spills, I want to know, I've got a fair feeling who it may be who you've tried to message already, but this hasn't even gone public and you're messaging people trying to recruit them. I'll tell you what, I'm going to start getting on my toes. That's worse than the old, what was it, Sam Petrescu Seaton.
Drafts are... It's a tough game. You got to be on your toes in draft. You got to be 2 steps ahead of the next bloke. And I reckon,
what is it? The man that spills this message might see that Spillsy wants to recruit him and pull out of the draft.
Thank you, mate. Yeah. What's he going to request a trade to the third man up at the end of 2026? Is he? I'm really stumped here. That's the drive by that I wasn't expecting Janath. Yeah, that hit that one. That you took your shot and you bloody hit it well. So yeah, I'm just
Mate,
gonna
you
have
can
to cop
return
that one.
serve. You can return serve, mate. It's all
I've got nothing to return. That you've stumped me completely. Absolutely Johnny
no,
Bear
no.
style, walked out of crease and stumped me blindly. Didn't know it was coming, and I've got to walk. So
You can walk your boy through to the mid-season draft. I'm sure he'll be okay. He'll want
mid-season
to come to you,
draft.
mate.
All right.
Mid-season
Oh, do you
draft.
know what? We should do that, shouldn't we? So we should select the sides, and then like mid-season, we've got like one or two selections for like a mid-season draft that we can enter into the squad somehow. I like the look of that mid-season draft. So for anyone that missed out, like the mate, how
Actually,
many
don't
Tom
hate that.
McCarthy's
That's a
of the
good idea.
Supercoach world would there be out there? How many Sammy Durhams, Massimo D'Ambrosio's out there that we won't select with our 20 selections at the start of the draft? So this could be a very fun concept, boys. There's going to be a lot of competition here. Believe me, a lot of competition.
And can I jump in again, like real quickly? Like how many people do we know in the like grand scheme of things with Supercoach? Like how many people are good at the game, and not just that, but like we're friends with. So it's going to be one of those, like, just brace yourselves. Like it's going to be one of those ones where there will be people who are stiff and
friendship's broken. Spills, you're talking here, mate. You're getting really controversial.
Broken, but it's not something like we can't take that too personally, because you can't have them all. Like you can't pick them all. There's
You
only
can't
so
have
many.
them all.
That's what happens, boys, when we get to our picks. There's, for example, the three insider boys there. We've got Swizz, Chris, and Benny. Who do we go first? Do we break hearts? What's going to happen? Because they're all going to get selected. These are blokes. They're all going to be top picks along the line somewhere. Are we going to try to sneak a couple in our back pocket? We're going early. Who do we go first? There's going to be a lot of controversy here, a lot of tough decision-making, honest conversations going on between coach and players. But it's going to be the biggest event, the biggest live event of Supercoach 2026. Mark my words, lads. Mark my words.
Can't wait for it. It's going to be so good.
Can't wait.
All right. Well, boys, I think we've run out of time for words of wisdom because we're already at an hour 40. We've talked that much nonsense and there is nothing to talk about in Supercoach at the moment. So Janath and I are now going to get recording. Oh, Janath, here we go. A GDS video, some potential pack openings and some potential giveaways as well. Some prize giveaways. This is going to be an absolute banger. So cannot wait to get our teeth stuck into that. I haven't even put a mailbag tweet out, which I've realised. So I will put a tweet out and we'll do our best to answer that. If I get to a video, I will. If not, I'll get to every one of your questions on Twitter. Stay tuned for the boys' live content as well this week. And apart from that, good luck avoiding the carnage and hope that you can get some nice 2,500 plus scores for the round. So pleasure as always, guys. Shout out to our brother Rossco. I'm not going to go there. Shout out to Rossco.
The lid's off, mate. You've already gone there. You went there before. Like, you can't. Anyway, it's all right. It's all good.
On that note, love you and leave you. Take care, guys. See you next week. Bye.